Yes, there we go. Okay, hello everyone. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. It is already the first Wednesday of August. Can you believe it? Neither can we. So we're excited to have you guys on here. Give us a second. We're going to you everybody.
Don't be offended.
Silence. Okay. So welcome. We're excited that you took a little bit of time to jump on this call. As you saw, it's all about increasing volume. We know volume is linked to a lot of different things, so it's going to be an amazing call. We have an awesome speaker who has found, a lot of success in doing a certain training that she's going to share with us. But before we get to that, there's a couple things that we want to start with. We have a couple announcements for August, and then just going to touch on some things for September, and then we'll go on to the training. But first off, as you guys know, hopefully Team Cup is in play. It started August 1st, so it is going. It is live. I hope all of you are in a Team Cup by now and your personally sponsored coaches. Something that we just launched and we have been posting on the Northeast page is we have weekly incentives for your coaches, your emeralds, and your rubies. So don't forget to share with them that for the first 3 weeks, if they're the top point earners in the Team Cup, they get to be the top 50. They get to be on a call with either Jeff Hill, Carl Deichler, or Autumn Calabrese, or all of them if they're top 50 every single week. So make sure that you let them know that as an extra incentive. And then the second thing I want to talk about in August is bonus qualification is coming up. If you are pushing to get the third quarter bonus for either 2-star, 5-star, 10-star, 15-star, the last week to start qualifying is August 19th. So it's right around the corner. Write that down. Make it a stretch goal if you're super close, because it is still possible, okay? So those are the two things I wanted to talk about for August. We actually have a special guest here to talk about one of the September announcements, Mr. Kim Carver. He's going to take a seat really quick.
Holy
you guys
cow.
know this guy.
Man. It's like coming home again.
It is, right?
It's like coming home again.
Good stuff.
Do you want me to just jump right in?
Yeah, just jump right in.
All right. Well, it is so good to see all of you beautiful people again. Those of you that are not on like putting up your own picture or putting a phone up or something like that. But I love it. She goes, would you mind chatting with the Northeast about this? I said, heck no. It's kind of like going back home again. So I miss you guys. Hope you guys are all doing well. I want to give you a quick sneak peek into what's coming out in September. So right now we're focusing on all things Cup. But after Cup, we're expecting a huge number of new coaches coming into the network. And so September is a great time to focus on helping those new coaches get started right. One of the biggest tools that we provide to you is Coach Basics. And in my new responsibility since I left you guys has been to work on a lot of these pieces, including Coach Basics. And so for the last 3 months, we've been working to put together, update, and kind of refresh Coach Basics. And we've been running some test groups with it with some phenomenal results. We've completely reworked it. So it's a lot more concise, direct, to the point. It's a lot shorter. It has a lot more flexibility built into it. And really, guys, what it's designed to do is to help every new coach come in and hit Emerald with the skills and the experience necessary to be able to then catapult themselves quickly into a stable diamond for your business. It gives them that strong foundation so that they not only hit Emerald, but they hit Emerald knowing the things they need to know and having the experience they need to have so that they can progress quickly into a stable diamond for your business and then into a business leader and team builder and all that with the leadership ladder. And so we've done a lot of work and effort on that. And so that will be coming out in the month of September. We're challenging everyone to basically consider them starting from scratch, be with your brand new coaches and hit Emerald. And use Coach Basics. Everyone get involved with that. So that's coming along, and we're really, really excited about it. So
awesome.
That's all I've got to say.
Thank you so much for sharing.
See you guys later.
All right. Okay. Thumbs up for that, right? We're excited about it. It's going to be amazing. We've had a sneak peek. It's going to be awesome. Great job, Kim. Thanks. All right. Now, Pearson has another awesome announcement for September.
So September is going to be awesome. Coach Basics, that's a big deal. But on top of that, we have a special guest that's agreed to join us for 2 trainings in September. A lot of you guys may know her. Her name is Jen Sincero. She's the author of You're a Badass. And I know you guys are thinking, we're already badasses, so why do we need this? anyways, it's still good. It's going to be pretty good. It's going to be worth it for sure. But she's going to join us on September 2nd and also on September 30th. And she's going to be talking about mastering your mindset. She's also going to talk about becoming a time management superhero. So September, it's going down. So obviously we can't have everybody on this call. We only have 100 spots available. So what are we going to do? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take the top 100 SC point earners in August and give you guys the first opportunity to register for the call. So, obviously we have Team Cup as a motivation, and also this can be another motivating factor in August. So go get your SC points so you can participate on these 2 training calls. It's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome, and we're so excited to have her in the Northeast first. Some of you might have seen she was at the Maryland Super Saturday where she talked, and I guess it was just badass, right? And so it's exciting that she's going to come and start doing training, be on our training call and just talk to you guys. So work hard for that top 100 spot so you can be on live, because there's going to be live Q&A at the end. If you want to ask her any kind of questions, she is open to that. Sound good?
One thing I didn't mention is she's number 8 on the New York best-selling list right now. So number 8. I think it has something to do with you guys. I think
it definitely has something to do with Beachbody coaches.
Our coaches, for sure.
You guys put her there. So it's going to be awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Jeff. So moving on, volume. As you know, again, this training is all about volume, your volume, increasing your team's volume, which touches a lot of different things. But before we get to that, I want to do a little exercise. When you guys think about volume and you think about the different reasons to increase your volume, I want you guys to write down on a piece of paper, what's the number 1 reason to do that for you? So take a second, write it down. Pearson and I are going to write it down as well. So number 1 reason why you would build volume. Guys got it? Yep. Okay. So I actually did a little exercise in the office. I walked around to everybody in here and asked them the same question. And it was interesting because I got pretty much the same answer from every single person. And this is what I got. I got income, money, commission, stability, team cycle bonus, income, pay, money, volume pays, income, residual income. What did you write down?
Eternal happiness.
Eternal happiness. He's so cute. But really, income. So if you guys are on the screen, kind of hold up your sheet of paper. What did you put down? Was it something along those lines? You guys are kind of nodding your heads. Show us. Put it against there. Freedom. Katie put freedom. I love it. Meredith, I'm looking. You kind of wrote a lot, it looks like.
Are those swear words?
Oh, I see. Michelle, did you write elite? You wrote elite in something, right? I love it. Okay. I love it. And I think it's important to know that, of course, income is probably one of the first things that come to mind when you hear volume, increasing your volume or your team volume. But like some of you actually wrote, it touches every single part of your business, whether that is, of course, cycle bonus, elite. It is a huge part of elite. 2 of the categories is all around PV, your PSPV with your 2015 coaches and your ATV. A huge portion of your 135 points comes from volume. So it's big time. Also the leadership ladder. When you guys look at the benchmarks, right? It's right there. It's the third thing. It's, is it 5,000 for minimum and the weak leg for a team leader? So it's something that you shoot for, something that you work towards. It's a goal that you should all be setting to increase your volume to some certain point to get to where you want to go. And then of course, it just shows that you're growing. It shows that you personally are growing, your team's growing, there's growth there. And it all links up with the vision of Beachbody, right? Helping others achieve their goals of living healthy, fulfilled lives. So it all comes back full circle to that, which is awesome. And that's why I'm really excited to have a special guest on today who's going to be talking all about volume to help you in this area, because I know it's an area that everybody wants to learn more about. So I'm going to actually have Jeff Pearson introduce our speaker.
Well, guys, we are so lucky. We get Katie Flynn. Let me tell you a little bit about Katie Flynn today. So she is a 5-star diamond coach. She's actually 2-star in her second CVC, and she's advancing like crazy. She's currently ranked number 81 on the elite ranking, which is It's kind of a big deal.
It's a big deal.
We have like a
And
bazillion
it's
coaches.
375,000 coaches. Kind of a big deal.
So number 81 on the rise. She's engaged and getting married next June to her fiance, Josh. And maybe you guys didn't know this, but she's also a dog mom. She has a dog named Darby, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Darby.
But Katie is an amazing leader, and honestly, she's we're lucky to have her. She's doing a great job in her business, and I'm really impressed with what she's able to accomplish. She's still new in the business. She's young, but she's an amazing leader. And so we're lucky to have you, Katie. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking time out of your life to be with us. And before we turn the time over to you, I got a question for you. It may be a little personal. No, it's not personal. So before we jump into this, can you share with us what you like most about Beachbody?
Oh my gosh. It just, for me, it just changed everything in my life completely, because I had a really big struggle of finding like my passion and purpose, and with a vision that my life and where it was going. I had some big time struggles in my past as far as like anxiety and depression and dealing with my dad becoming paralyzed. And I just was in like such a dark place before Beachbody. So having the transformation, first of all, that I had with the products and Shakeology, and then in turn being able to grow a full-time business, it's everything. There's not just like one thing in my life that's changed. It's completely everything. So that's why I love it so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Katie. Okay, we're going to turn it over to you. We're going to spotlight you and let you take over. So
do your thing, girl. Do your thing.
Whoa. Hi. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm really, really humbled to be speaking to you guys today. I think this is really cool. And I have to be honest, when Alex and Jeff asked me to do this call, I thought there'd be like other people talking too. So then when I saw the post last night, I was like, okay, just me. Okay, I can roll with that. But no, I'm very excited because volume is such a complex thing, and it took me, I feel like, a really long time for things to start to click. And I still learn something every day. I just passed my 2-year mark as a coach. And just coming from the beginning of not really being a business-minded person coming into this, I totally joined for the discount and to be held more accountable for my goals. And then I started to run challenge groups. And just like they said, the mission with Beachbody is we all want to help everybody live healthy and fulfilling lives. And that's what I wanted to do. I had no business mind to see in the future like what this could really become until I started to have some more growth and really started to see where I could go with this. But I wasn't one of those people that joined and read like all the policies and procedures, something crazy like people do. I definitely didn't do that. But I would say, I would go as far as say it's probably like 8 out of 10 coaches that do join are joining for those same reasons. You'd find a small bit that actually join to grow their empire, coming into it right in the beginning. So that's why, as I started to grow as a coach and as time went on, and anybody that's on this call is I'm pretty sure diamond and above. So I started to lose sight that sometimes I forget that I felt those same ways in the beginning. I didn't know all about volume. I didn't know about weak and strong legs, and I didn't know how to build volume or where to place coaches and things like that. And I think the further that we get in our journeys, it's easy to forget those things and just think that your coaches may know all those things. But they don't, because we can run all these trainings we want, all these coach basics and stuff. But in the beginning, there's just so much info being thrown at them. I know our personal coach basics is we mention Emerald and we talk about weak and strong leg and cycle bonuses. But at that point, they're not even really thinking about that yet. They're more just thinking about starting their first challenge group and getting their first couple customers and hitting Success Club 5. So the business building part isn't really a thought for them yet. So that's why I wanted to talk today about our volume training that we came up with. Some other leaders on our team. We came together and tried to find something that would be there would be the missing link, because we all came together and said, okay, we have Coach Basics, we have Push to Emerald, and we have Push to Diamond, but these people that are pushing for these ranks, sometimes rank can be confused with income. And we have new Emerald saying, okay, I'm an Emerald now, I'm gonna get, where's my cycle bonuses? I'm gonna get all these cycle bonuses yet now. And that's, obviously if they're not having business building coaches or actively working coaches, that's not just gonna happen. And then some people say, okay, I'm gonna be Diamond, I'm gonna start making all this money, and I'm gonna have X amount of dollars a week, and they think that these things are just set in stone when you get to these ranks, which we know, again, isn't true. So we had to find the missing link to figure out, how can we go more in depth with this? How can we teach more about this and have it be something that they're learning and having it soak in at an Emerald and above level? So that's how we came up with the volume training. So there was 7 of us that came together and did it. My upline is Nikki Whiting, and she is the founder of Beatnik Dynasty. So it was 7 Beatnik Dynasty coaches, Diamond and Star Diamond coaches, that came together to do it. And we did a 7-week focus group on this. And we said we would probably do it like 3 or 4 times a year because it was so successful. So we're going to be doing a Push to Diamond now, and then we're going to go right into another volume training because we loved it so much. But I have it up on my computer just to read some stats of just in general what the training was, so that you guys can get a better idea. And if you want to write this stuff down, and then of course I can share in the group as well. But basically, again, it was 7-week training. We had them pay $10 entry fee to get in, and they had to be an Emerald and above, because anything before Emerald, it really wouldn't have made sense for them or been beneficial at that point. So they had a $10 entry fee, and that was just being paid via PayPal, so that at the end we could have a big money pot to give out prizes away, which was really fun because it got people excited about it. We were sharing how much was in the pot at the beginning of the group so that they knew what to work towards and that they could be getting, some sort of incentive or prize at the end of it. And then each week we would have somebody else be spotlighted to run that week. So it wasn't like a normal push group where we're posting things daily and posting different tips and videos and stuff like that. There was just 2 days a week that they had to plug into the group. It was on Monday and Thursday. So if it was my week, and then on that Thursday of the same week, I would go into this volume group and post a picture that said, live Q&A or whatever. And for 1 hour, I would be in the group answering questions pertaining to the webinar that we did on Monday. And it was really great because they had time then from Monday to Thursday to really let it sink in. People that maybe needed to catch the recording, or some people wanted to watch it multiple times, they had time to write down the questions and get prepared then for Thursday to have this Q&A. And we were really surprised at how active everybody was in there. I mean, the questions were just rapid fire, one after the other, during this just 1 hour of focused answering questions. And it was really nice because a lot of people had the same questions. So anyways, somebody could go back and be like, yeah, I was wondering that too. So it got answered for them anyways. But we would just answer all the questions for that topic for that week. So we just did 1 topic per week. I'm going to go through and read what the topics were and a little bit about them. Again, I can reshare this, but if you want to write these down, I just got to take a sip of water real quick. Okay, so week 1, we did basically just like a kickoff call, and we called it just like the basics of volume. And it was just, what is your left leg? What is your right leg? Because again, sometimes it's easy to forget that somebody might not know that. They have no idea. And the thing about this training in particular is that this isn't something that I was just doing with, my personally sponsored coaches and just even with my team. This was a bunch of teams coming together to do it. So it was really cool that anybody could join that was serious about this business, because I know you guys can probably relate when I say I can teach my PS coaches everything I want them to learn. I'm a little bit of a control freak. I could pound into their heads whatever I want to, but you only can hope and pray that 4 or 5 levels down, the same thing is happening. And unfortunately, sometimes it's probably not. So it was nice that anybody in the whole downline could join this group. And that was when you could really start to see who was serious about this, whether you're personally sponsored or not, because in the end, volume is volume, and it doesn't matter if it's your PS or not. It's somebody on your team. It's somebody that's contributing to your volume. So anybody could join, and it was nice that we could, start working with people that were not just our personally sponsored. So yeah, basic info, left leg, right leg, how to determine your weak versus your strong leg. And it was nice during the Q&A, then people started to realize that not everybody's weak leg is their right leg. It's it's different for everybody. Some people started to realize that they didn't have a huge trickle strong leg and they needed to build both legs maybe. And it just made them more aware of what they had to work with and how they could, start to pay attention of where they need to put their focus. So that was week 1. Week 2 was called digging into the downline. And this is when we started to talk about recognizing who in your downline was producing that volume. So, when you go in your volume tab of your online office and you can actually click on the volume and see the breakdown of what is everybody getting each week. That is where we were telling them, okay, now it's the end of the week. Go in here and look at who is producing the most volume for you. Maybe go in there and see, okay, I only have maybe 5 coaches producing to my weak leg volume, and I want to have 1,000 on my weak leg. So if I want to have 1,000 on my weak leg and I only have 5, 6, 7 coaches producing, then I need to have each coach producing this amount of volume. I can't do math off the top of my head, so I'm not going to come up with the exact numbers, but you see what I'm saying. We were kind of teaching them how to reverse engineer how many people that they had producing versus how much that person was averaging each week, and then maybe what that person needed to be hitting each week to hit their ultimate goal. Let's see, week 3, we talked all about team cycles and cap outs at each different rank. So we broke it down to them at each level what they could be potentially making and capping and cycle bonuses. And this was really cool to have an eye-opener for the emeralds because, like I said, with rank doesn't come guaranteed income. So it was nice for them to see what they could do as an emerald coach. And a new emerald coach starting out, capping out at $250 a week is big time for some of them. So for them seeing that potential and realizing that they could do that only at emerald, level, that was really cool for them to have that light bulb moment to see that they could really start to build a solid business just getting started out. So we talked about each different cap out and determining also at the end of the week how you are or how much you're going to be making in team cycle. So doing the little math things to figure out at the end of the week how much they're actually going to be making. The 4th week was talking all about matching bonuses and sign-up bonuses and basically any of the other ways that we can make income in the business. So making sure that they were aware of the fast start bonus. And sometimes newer coaches, some of the emeralds were asking us questions like, if I sign up a coach, am I going to be losing their commission as a customer? And it was a way for us to show them hey, this is a bonus you get. And maybe they didn't know about that. And that was something that we weren't maybe stressing in our coach basics, but in here we could really get down to the nitty gritty of all the different ways for potential for income. So we did a webinar, just showed a picture of this is a matching bonus, and if somebody signs up with a $140 challenge pack, this is what your bonus would be, just giving them little examples like that. And then we also introduced second business centers and started to tell them even what a second business center was, at what level you can get it, and what it would mean and what it could do for your business. I always crack up when I say second business center because one of my friends, and she's one of my success partners, when we were both newer coaches, we would get on Zooms like this, and a coach in our upline would say, well, like my second CBC or my third CBC or whatever. And she thought she meant like legit offices that she would go into, like, so, around wherever it was. She thought she actually had business centers that she would work from. So that always cracks me up. But so that's what it just proves that it's so foreign to people. They don't know what a second business center is and why you would even want to open another one, and explaining to them that you don't have to stop adding coaches to your first. That was a question we got, like, once you open your second, are you done with your first? And just explaining like the logistics of all that. In the week 5, we did how to drive your team volume. And this was probably one of the most popular weeks because we started to give examples of how you could start to get your team volume numbers up, and having them recognize that by doing things like, say, a Shakeology challenge, where you're having your team run it all together maybe, and if you're going to do a Shakeology challenge, obviously you're either buying boxes of Shakeology and selling the samples, or they're just going on the website and buying the sampler. So that in turn is going to drive everyone's volume up. So showing them ways to do things like that really started to help them out. And then also how to handle new product launches. And I know we all know that when a new product comes out, it's all exciting and volume goes up because not only are our customers buying the new products, but coaches are buying the new products too. And coaches in your downline are going to drive your volume up as well. So we talked all about ways to do different test groups with your teams, and doing preparation before the product came out, and different ways so that when the product release came, they would get that that boost in volume and not be like catching the wave late and miss the boat. So really just focusing on making sure that the preparation for a product launch was on point as a team, so that way everybody would benefit from the boost. Week 6 was rank versus income. And this was awesome. It's also kind of tricky too, because you've probably maybe watched different webinars on rank versus income before. I know Chelsea Pearson has a really great one, but with rank comes income, and income rank. I think in the end, it's all going to come together anyways. I don't feel like you have to be like, I'm a rank coach, I'm an income coach, because that doesn't really make sense. But we wanted to just make sure they knew that they could, at a diamond to 4-star level, be making an incredible income. It's not something that happens at like 5-star and above or something. So showing them how to place once they get, 4 and 4 means diamond, but also if you have, a very strong leg, maybe at that point, maybe back off from adding so many coaches there and start really jacking that weak leg up. So that was something that I did. I have a pretty strong leg from my upline. So I got to a cushioned place on my strong leg and stopped adding there. Like in 2014, I haven't had a coach there since, but, and then just starting to jack up that weak leg to drive your volume so that you can, obviously have more cycle bonuses. But then in turn, also telling them, because we never want to be like, this is what you should do, because everybody can run their businesses differently. In turn, telling them too, if you have something in your sites like 10 to 15 star, if that's something you're really like, you see on your vision board, then you obviously need to be having other key players on that strong leg too. So teaching them that it's always a balancing game, and you're probably going to make like mistakes in placement. And I'm sure every coach on here would agree that there's probably like one coach we place that we can't stand where they are in our downline, but that it happens to everybody and you can't control everything. And in the end, it's all going to work out anyways. You might place somebody that you wish so badly was on your weak leg because they have a killer downline of volume, but in turn, it's a diamond on that leg that is helping you for your rank. So in the end, it all works out. So that was all week 6, and they had tons of questions all about that. That was, there was tons of questions on our Q&A that week. And then week 7 was the wrap-up week. We kind of just did like a recap of everything that we went over. And then also, again, going back to really having them focus in again, who are your key players? Who, even if they're your personally sponsored or not, are providing volume for you, and who do you need to work with? And having them start to have time management skills as to how much they're going to work with these people. Are you going to devote 80% of your time to this person, or 20%, or no time? Because if somebody's going to waste your time, it's not worth it for you to work with them. So having them recognize where they needed to devote their time and splitting it up to figuring out who was really helping drive their team volume, and making sure that that person was getting enough attention, and figuring all that time management skills out. So that was very helpful for them as well. I think that's it for the week breakdowns. But basically just the results of our group. I had a couple people send me some testimonials. But for me personally, so we did this back in March, and I went back and I looked at my income from March to now. And while I do believe that just from basic business building things like recruiting and product launches and summit and things like that helped to drive my volume. But I do think that this was extremely helpful for my personal volume. My week leg has since then doubled since we did this volume training. And like I said, I can't give it all the credit, but I do feel like the coaches that I had in there that I was paying so close attention to, that were driving my volume, and I wanted them to also be soaking it all in and learning as much as they could. I feel like that is why I'm seeing such a growth now, because they learned so many new techniques to use with their teams and their own personal businesses as well. But a couple little blurbs that I grabbed from a couple of my fellow coaches. She said, "My team volume has continued to grow each week on my week leg as my coaches learned the value of volume and how to place coaches not just for rank but for volume growth." Another coach said, "I understood what it took to make the income that I was desiring at that point, and because of that, it helped me become a better leader with my team and helping them reach their goals. I no longer push just for rank, but just to instead stress success starters, challenge groups, and so on to build a solid team of higher volume." And then the last one was, "One of the most valuable info things I learned was during the training, strong versus weak leg and how your volume is calculated to get cycle bonuses." So those are just a few examples of some of the things that our coaches said that they really liked from it. And then also I wanted to add, sometimes we do this not even during the volume training. We do this in our team page. We do something called the 250 PV board, and that is where at the end of the week on Thursday, we'll make a collage of any coach in the downline that had 250 PV and up. And they get obviously recognized on the board. Some people's love language, they just love that little shout out. So that sometimes that's enough for people. So we'll do the shout out always. And then sometimes we'll pick a set of time. Maybe it's a 6-week period where it's okay, for the next 6 weeks, anybody on the 250 PV board is going to be entered into a drawing for, I think right now we're doing all the diamonds pitched in, it's $50. So somebody in the team is going to get a $50 bonus just from being on that 250 PV board. So that's something else we do on top of this volume training as well. But yeah, I think that's all I have about our training. It was really successful. We really loved it. And we're definitely going to be doing it probably multiple times a year. It was definitely a joint effort. So I would suggest probably teaming up with, if you have, some leaders on your team that you would want to do it together with, or teaming up with some other teams coming together and trying it out, because, it was really awesome.
I love it. That's great. And I think you nailed it at the beginning. I mean, a lot of times we overlook and we overthink and we forget that sometimes we need to go back to the basics, especially with our newer coaches, right? Even when it just is legs, weak leg, strong leg, right leg, left leg, it might just take a simple conversation about that really helps them. And one of your testimonials, that's what she said. That's what really helped her. So it was really cool just getting down to the very basics, right? And having this 6-week course, I guess you could say, with a wrap up at the end from different coaches who have, experienced a lot of different things. You guys have heard it all. You've probably seen it all. You've been involved in a lot of the conversations. So the Q&A probably was pretty simple having all of you on there. So I love the idea. I talked to Carly Wood as well, and she said that it helped her go from, I think, 9 PSPV coaches helping with the 500 to like 14 or 15 within a month. So, I mean, big things happening. When you sit down and talk about volume, a lot of coaches ask, how can I impact this number? And really 2 ways. One, find more people, recruit to go towards that number, or train on that, train on volume exactly like you just did, Katie. So I love this. I'm going to open it up first to see if there's anybody on the call that has questions. I'm going to take the spotlight off just so we can see if anybody has questions on here. And forgive us, for some reason there was something wrong with this and it only allowed 25 people on. But it is recorded, thank God. So we're going to post it, but we don't know what happened. So that's why it's okay. So is anybody on the call, do you guys have any questions about what she just went over, any of the trainings that she talked about, I guess anything in general right now? I know I have a question, Katie. I think tracking is kind of a big thing in this area as well, so kind of where your volume has been and where you're going. Do you do any kind of tracking? And if so, how do you do that?
Well, first of all, you just reminded me that I probably left out a big thing about the training. We also created a file in the group. It was a Google Doc. We had all their names listed down the side, and each week they had to report their week in their strong leg volume on there. And we made sure we said, this isn't any place, obviously, for judgment, or you shouldn't be embarrassed if people are on different parts of their journeys. So nobody felt like awkward or anything putting their volume on there. But we had them track it so they could see their growth through the training. And that was really great for us to see, too, how their volume, not only ours, but their volume was growing. And that's how we chose the winners at the end. We chose 3 people that had the biggest percentage of growth at the end, which I was not the one that calculated that, but somebody calculated that and figured out who was the top 3 growth, and that's how they won the money prize. But yeah, so for myself, I guess for tracking, I just go through at the end of the week, and even though I'm making like those shout outs as far as like 250 PV or higher, I still like to see what my coaches are getting every single week. So I can't say I'm like putting them into docs or something every week, because I don't track that much. But I do like to just in general know at the end of the week who's producing the volume, and giving them those shout outs. They really appreciate that too, so that they know that I'm seeing who in the team is really producing. And then also I love seeing my matching bonus every week, because then I can see my coaches that are cycling, seeing how they're starting to grow. So for me, that's like one of the coolest places to see, like on Thursday when you're looking at your income, is seeing that matching bonus to see who of your leaders are really starting to grow their businesses even more as far as cycling goes.
Awesome. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Do you guys have any other questions?
There was one on the chat. Did you get your information? We kind of just Nikki came up with the topics first as far as what we were going to talk about. And then we all on a thread kind of went back and forth and said, well, maybe we should talk about also the bonuses or a second business center or whatever. We all kind of gave our ideas of what we thought would be beneficial for them. So that's how we came up with the topics. And then honestly, usually when we do trainings like this, she'll create a doc and she'll just say choose something that you feel confident talking about. But for this one, she just assigned them to us. And actually it was probably better for us because it forced us to learn about the topic. Because I know some of the girls were like, oh, I'm not comfortable talking about capping or anything like that, but it forced them to do some more research to figure out how they were going to talk about it. So like we were basically just like faking it. We were just, rolling with it. So no, we didn't really like do like intense research to find anything. We were just looking up on YouTube and just from personal experience and things that worked for us, I guess.
I'm also curious, you mentioned product launches a little bit, and I'm wondering if you can give us some more insight into this. What do you do to prepare for product launches and take advantage of product launches?
So in our team page, we definitely start talking a lot about it. So for months, I've been, talking about size and the performance line and just getting my whole team excited about it first before, we talk about different ways we're going to start promoting and stuff, and just giving them ideas of, hey, Beachbody released a snippet recipe from Fixate. Let's all, make sure we're utilizing that. Post that in your challenge group. Post that on your fitness page or Instagram or whatever. And then I was forcing everyone, not forcing, but the size preview. Like some people were really embarrassed to do that and like shy and did like non-dancers. And I was like, come on guys, it's just fun and we'll do it. Well, I'm not the best dancer either, and we'll just, it's just a way to get the word out there. And so we all started, doing size. I'm sure there's like 8 billion size videos on Facebook from everybody, but yeah, we just started doing things like that. And then also I offered a test group for the whole team. So instead of just having their size people like in their current challenge groups, we could have a place where it's just like only people doing size. So that's what we have right now.
Well, I just wanted to point out a couple big takeaways that I got from this. You mentioned coaches or customers too. I think sometimes we forget that our coaches are customers.
Yeah.
That's a good reminder, and I always look for ways to, and it sounds bad, but increase sales among our coaches. I liked when you said focusing on coaches that are driving volume. Like, I think my natural reaction would be go focus on those coaches that aren't producing volume and try to get them to produce more. And I think that's something we should do, but really focusing and working with those that are driving volume, because there's more than likely they're building a team, and you can probably get some more volume from them. And then also focusing on recognition for volume. Maybe that's a common practice. I don't know. So maybe it's being done everywhere, but I think that's a great idea. Recognizing those that have 250, 40, what was it? Above. That's great. That's a great idea. So I love all those things.
Awesome. So any other questions from the peanut gallery?
Oh, messed up.
Okay. Just kidding. It's a joke. All right. Well, we are good to go. 45 minutes. It was a great training. Thank you so much, Katie, for everything, for sharing. We appreciate when coaches come on and share all of their secrets, right? I know everybody is very appreciative. We have a couple action items, I guess you could say, for those on the call. If you're not tracking your income or your volume, I guess I should say, start doing that. Start tracking week to week your volume, and really make a goal for yourself to increase that every single week. Even if it's by $1, try to increase over week just by $1, okay? And just see where that takes you, because I promise you, if you start tracking, it's going to be an eye-opener for one. And then two, it's really going to help you see where you're heading, so you can start trending out to see where you might even end the year at, and how you can, impact that number if you're not happy with it. So I really encourage everybody to start tracking and to push yourself to at least go $1 over what you did last week, okay? The second one, this training that Katie just went through, if there were topics there that you haven't discussed with your coaches yet, take some time and do that. Have a Zoom call with them. Have some kind of training and hit these topics, because these are all key topics that will help them. And like Katie said, it helps if you have a success partner or maybe another coach that is great in these areas, and come together, combine, so it's not just all on your shoulders. You can have a team doing this, and it's actually more effective. So I encourage all of you guys to do that. And of course, go kick some butt in Team Cup, okay? Woo! Sound good. Well, it's so good to see your pretty faces. We hope you have a great rest of the week, a wonderful weekend, and we'll be back next month with Jen Sincero. We hope to see some of you guys there as well. Reach out to us if you need anything, and we will talk to you later, okay?
Thank you. Thanks, Katie.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.